What's up, guys? This is Wayne from My Tech News, and in this video, I'm going to be doing my first ever live stream that's not actually a live streamed event, actually. And I'm actually streaming this from my Samsung Galaxy S10. I actually tried doing this stream about 5 minutes ago, and I was having some difficulties setting this up since I actually never set up a live stream from my smartphone before. But as of right now, I finally got this working out, and it's actually quite cool. And this is literally the only way I can do a live stream from my smartphone. So that's why you're seeing me do a live stream from my smartphone. I really don't know how many of you are actually coming out to the stream today to talk about random tech or talk about video games. I want to say something else. I started using my community tab more, and I highly suggest anyone out there who really does in want to get updates from me or know more about me or know when I'm going live like this and things like that, I really highly suggest you do use YouTube community uh, my YouTube community tab because that's where I'm going to be posting most things. I don't post on Twitter, I don't post on Instagram, I don't post on Facebook, I don't post anywhere. So all the updates you are going to see from me are going to be from my community tab because I do love the community tab when it comes to YouTube. And also, I'm not even sure if I actually really want to keep this live stream like as a VOD pre-recorded afterwards, but I might just so people know I start live streaming. I kind of want to do these more often because I really love talking about the tech news, talking about the gaming news and things like that. If anyone's watching this, let me know how the quality is as well. Like I said, I'm using my front-facing camera on the Samsung Galaxy S10. I'm also doing it in portrait mode, not in landscape mode because it keeps telling me to rotate the device, which is kind of weird. It's not giving me an option for some reason to do landscape for some reason, so that's why I'm doing it in portrait mode. Let me see if I can bring up the chat room really quickly so I can try to talk to live chat, top chat, live chat, super chat, live chat. Okay, it looks like I got the live chat, so I should be able to see if anyone's actually coming in here talking to me or anything like that. But let me get back to this live stream. But anyway, I really wanted to do a live stream for the first time since I haven't done one in quite some time. So that's why I'm doing this live stream specifically because I wanted to do one and I really want more engagement from my audience. I just don't want to be, like I said before, I don't want to be a guy behind the camera who just delivers the tech news, delivers the gaming news, and stops there. I want you guys to get to know me on a personal level. We can come hang out, talk like this, but I also don't want it to be about gameplay, and that's why I do not want to actually sit in front of this camera here and just strictly talk or strictly play video games like I did in the past. I want it to be about topics and things that I'm interested in, and that's why I actually want to do it like this I can instead of like playing a video game and then still doing Q&A or talking about random topics. It's just easier for me to do this, and I can really pay full attention to all this, and you won't be distracted by the video game as well. And I really want to do these videos as well, these live streams, because they're not structured like my YouTube videos where I'm sitting down in front of a camera really trying to think about what I'm gonna say, how I'm gonna say it, and things like this. I can pretty much just sit in front of this camera and pretty much just speak my mind. I can pretty much just go all over the place from topic to topic. I can do a lot of number of different things that I normally couldn't do in my YouTube videos. But anyway, let's go ahead and keep talking about stuff that's currently happening in the tech community, currently happening in the gaming community, and things like that. So, recently, prior to this video, you guys know I currently did a video talking about the latest Call of Duty, and the latest Call of Duty is pretty cool, I will have to admit. I kind of really want you guys to go down and watch the video for yourself. But overall, my thoughts and my opinions to summarize that game up completely was the fact that I'm pretty much happy with the direction about that game. If you want to know more about my opinions and thoughts on that, then definitely check out that video. That's where I pretty much go into full detail about what I think about that game specifically. So there's that. But yes, overall, I'm really do enjoying the way that that game's direction is headed. And so far, I think it might be a game that I may end up picking up on day one, of course, depending on my financial my financial needs, of course, and things like that. But I'm definitely leaning towards more picking this up. But then again, we still need more gameplay of that. It's really hard to go off of just one trailer and one cinematic since there was no gameplay and it was only cinematic. Who knows how the actual gameplay is going to be and how much are they going to change of the Call of Duty formula and how much are they going to change of other aspects. So there's that when it comes to the Call of Duty. And just really quickly, my thoughts and opinions on the latest Call of Duty and. Before I head on to the next topic, I just wanted to say I'm probably going to make this live stream maybe about 30 minutes. And then after the 30-minute mark, I'm probably going to cut this live stream, just trying to give enough time. So if anybody who wanted to enter the live stream has a chance to enter the live stream if they so choose to. On other news, there is news about a brand new folding phone, and this brand new folding phone is actually quite interesting because apparently there's a patent from Apple. Yes, the Apple who makes the iPhone. Apparently, they're trying to make a patent to where they're going to be making an iPhone, folding iPhone for the first time. And I'm actually going to be talking about this more in an upcoming YouTube video because I really want to discuss this thing because it's very interesting. And outside of the folding phone, the Apple patent for this brand new folding phone, I haven't even talked about folding phones on my YouTube channel specifically. So I do want to talk about folding phones specifically when it comes to my YouTube channel. What do I think of folding phones, my take on folding phones and things like this. But going back to this patent that Apple actually had for the upcoming Apple folding phone, I think the upcoming Apple folding phone is very interesting because Apple is definitely a different beast when you look at it compared to even Samsung or a lot of these Android manufacturers who make Android smartphones, and they do have a different standard when it comes to their smartphones, and everyone's expectations when it comes to their smartphones is always held higher than a lot of these brands, even Samsung and things like that. So if this thing is going to come to the market, it definitely has to be top tier, and it definitely has to be a polished type of device. I don't think anyone's actually going to want to buy this device if it comes out and it's like when it's like the Samsung Galaxy Fold, or if it's not up to snuff. I think even Apple wouldn't want to release a product that's subpar or like an experimental device, whereas you have somebody like Samsung, which doesn't care if their device is experimental because they've done experimental things in the past. Like, for instance, you guys may remember maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, they did actually make a very big, giant tablet. It was like 19 or 18 inches, and that thing was bound to fail. But you can see that thing was definitely an experimental device from Samsung. So, yes, my opinions on this are definitely very mixed. Of course, we haven't actually seen any actual real working footage of this Apple foldable phone because it's not even in early stages of development. They just recently filed a patent. What does this actually mean as well when it comes to a folding phone from Apple? That could literally mean anything. It could mean that this phone from Apple could never come to be, or it could mean that this patent is a patent that they're purposely making just so that they can get ready to actually make this folding phone. So that's very interesting, and I want to see more information on this folding phone when it comes to Apple and specifically what they're going to do with a folding phone, because also when it comes to folding phones, there's so many manufacturers and there's so many different implementations on folding phones. There's not really one way to make a folding phone, and everyone's really trying to compete when it comes to folding phones about how they're going to make the folding phone. Are they going to make the folding phone fold inwards on itself, fold outwards on itself? It's just very interesting. Or is it going to be something like the Motorola Razr, where it's kind of like a flip phone, and the flip actually has a screen inside of it, and the bottom part has a flip? Remember those old Motorola Razr phones? That's pretty much how they're trying to do the folding phone aspect. So overall, folding phones, I do think may be the future of smartphones, but then again, I don't think they may not be the future of smartphones, just because, well, they're so experimental and a lot of them are in early stages. And not just that, a lot of people really don't know what to do with folding phones. What's the practicality of folding phones? And considering how expensive they are going to be at first, of course, everything goes down in price over time. So everyone, if this does get popular and does take off, of course, it would be a mainstream thing, but it's going to be a very long time to even get this to be a mainstream thing because, like I said, money, they're too expensive. You look at the Samsung Galaxy Fold. The Samsung Galaxy Fold is definitely $2,000, and at $2,000, no one's going to buy it. They're better off buying something else because you're not getting that much more practicality or that much more features when it comes to a folding phone. You're getting more screen real estate, but for $2,000, I mean, at least I think most people do agree that $2,000 $1,000 is just way too expensive for a smartphone. So yeah, that's not it. And then on top of that, like I said, they're so experimental. People just do not know what they want in a smartphone and why they need that foldable phone. Like, why is it practical and what makes it better than just a flat slab of glass, plastic, and a screen on it? What makes it better than just a slab of a screen? What makes it better? That's the real problem we have to answer. I think for a lot of people, the number one thing that comes to mind when it comes to folding phones specifically, I think we can all agree, is the fact that you are getting more screen, and it's really bridging the gap between a smartphone and a tablet and even a computer in some aspects. That's the real thing you do have to take in consideration. You pretty much have a tablet and a smartphone all in one. Sure, back in the day, they used to call big screen smartphones phablets, and those were kind of trying to leap the gap between what a tablet and what a smartphone could be by having a bigger screen. So you don't need to carry necessarily a tablet. You don't need to carry a smartphone. You can have everything all in one piece. But we can all admit that the design of normal smartphones that are just a flat piece of material with a screen on it, or a flat slab, we can all admit still not that big, and especially since it's very slim, you don't get a lot of screen real estate, and it's still not going to be a replacement for a traditional tablet. Where I think if we were trying to bridge the gap between tablet and smartphone, I really do believe that the ultimate solution would actually be a foldable phone. I think the foldable phone would definitely be more of a phablet, if you ask me, compared to some of these smartphones that are like 5.5 inches up to like 6.5 inches. I think that's going to be really the true test there when it comes to really bridging the gap. But yes, overall, this is just some very interesting stuff. Like I said again, I'm going to probably be making a video specifically about that patent that Apple just recently announced when it comes to their foldable phone patent, and who knows what they're really going to do with their foldable phone. Now let's move on to some other topics. Let's go back to what I posted, I think, a couple of days ago. I posted video clip on my YouTube channel talking about how Bose is actually making a brand new piece of noise canceling headphones. And I think these noise canceling headphones from Bose are going to be a very interesting kit, because they look nothing like the previous Bose noise canceling headphones. That's what's got me so interested in these, and just the fact that they are raising the price, if you didn't know, to $400 is definitely very interesting. And these are going to replace the QC35-2s that are currently their flagship ANC style noise canceling headphones. And that's what's so pretty interesting about the whole matter. Who knows how well this is actually going to do in a space that's actually pretty crowded and already has a lot of amazing options when it comes to noise canceling. Specifically, like I talked about, we have things like the Sony ones, which have a crazy name. I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I think it's like Sony WXM222X something. I know they're on the X3s now, and then I own the X2s. And then with Bose previous options with the QC35 line and QC35-2s, those are the current flagship ANC style headphones, and those are very interesting headphones just because, well, you get some pretty good noise canceling. But the thing that Bose is best known for, like I said before in my video, they're best known for things like the quality of their actual headset, like the way it feels on your head. They're some of the lightest headphones ever designed, and that's something that Bose does have that no other flagship or no other company can actually beat. Sure, there's a lot of headphones that are pretty comfortable and you can wear them for hours on end, but there's nothing that will still beats Bose comfort when it comes to actually fitting on your head. And I think that's why so many people go to Bose. Not only are they known for noise canceling, so that's already a mark on them, they're known for noise canceling. And second of all, not them just being known for noise canceling, their headphones are some of the most comfortable headphones you'll ever wear in your life. Nobody can beat them. That's why so many people go to Bose, even though we can all admit at this very moment there's other headphones that are definitely better than Bose around the same price or even cheaper. Like for instance, the X2s from Sony, they actually have more to bring to the table, and they're slightly better when it comes to noise canceling for a lot of people. That's actually a very good value. You'd almost be crazy to buy the Bose over those just because they're $350. You get a lot for your money. Even the sound quality may actually be better depending on your taste in music. Of course, sound is always subjective, so I can't really say that they're going to sound much more better than something that, like for instance, Bose has. It just depends on each personal preference. Do you like stuff that's much more neutral? Do you like stuff with more bass? Do you like stuff that's more poppier? It just really does depend. But we can all admit there's better options on the market. So it is interesting to see these brand new noise canceling headphones from Bose that are like very expensive at $400. They're set to be released or be shipping around June 30th and everything like that. And it does make me excited as a tech fan, knowing that there are new noise canceling headphones and everyone's trying to compete for the best noise canceling, because always getting better noise canceling is definitely a plus in my book. And I am a big user of noise canceling. I will honestly take noise canceling over better sound quality. I know, call me crazy. I'm not really a audiophile. I never pretended to be an audiophile. And even if I was an well, I'm not an audiophile. I just got to make that clear. What am I actually saying? But yes, I do really value ANC style headphones or noise canceling headphones like to death. That's pretty much all I use in my regular life. Like I said, I have the Sony X2s and I cannot live without them. Every day of my life, I use noise canceling headphones. If you've never used noise canceling headphones are a godsend and a lifesaver in a lot of situations. There's so many times in my life I just do not want to be disturbed, or there's someone jackhammering outside, or there's someone passing by, or I just want to shut the world out because I'm having a bad day. Trust me, once you use good quality noise canceling headphones, you may not want to return to anything else but noise canceling headphones. I can admit that. I never understood the hype of good quality noise canceling headphones, and they are flat out amazing. They're something that's a must for, I think, a lot of people, and I think once you actually use them, you should definitely buy a good pair of noise canceling headphones out there. And honestly, I'm very happy with mine, and I'm so excited too to see how much better they are than the competition, because if these headphones are way better than the competition, then I'm definitely gonna go ahead and pull the trigger on these ones. I'll do something with my X2s. I'll probably sell them like on eBay, or sell them like used or somewhere, and I'll try to get a lot of money out of them, or some money out of them, and then put that money towards the new ones. Something about the design of it does look pretty cool, but then again, I don't know how well they're gonna fit. Actually, people have been looking at the specs of these brand new Bose noise canceling 700 headphones that are coming out, and apparently, or it's already confirmed at this point, that they are going to be much more heavier than the QC35. I don't think they're that much heavier than the QC35 2s that are currently on the market, but just the fact, just knowing that they are going to be slightly heavier is not a good sign when it comes to comfortability, if that's even a word. I do apologize if that's not a word, but that's the best thing I can think of off the top of my head. But yes, that does actually kind of make me wonder, because I don't want these things to feel uncomfortable. But like I said again, this is Bose, and Bose is known to make flat out fantastic noise canceling headphones and the most comfortable headphones, period. When it comes to headphones, they're definitely the king of that without a doubt. So I'm pretty sure they know what they're doing. Of course, they probably had to add more weight because the design's different. They're actually adding more features, and if the noise canceling is going to be better, of course, it has to be more heavier. There's no way they can make it lighter or even the same weight as the current QC35 2s. They have to do something with their design. But anyway, that's pretty much my feelings and my thoughts on the brand new Bose QC30, the new Bose noise canceling 700 headphones that they are getting ready to release. Again, I did make a whole YouTube video talking about this. If you want to check out that video for yourself, just look on my YouTube video. Now, the next topic I think I actually want to talk about is stuff related to gaming, because I want to talk a little bit about gaming while we're sitting here. You guys know E3 is right around the corner, and now that E3 is right around the corner, there's going to be some pretty amazing stuff at E3. And for me, being a gamer, I'm very excited to see what E3 brings to the table. We know Nintendo's going to have some pretty good stuff. And when it comes to gaming, I'm more of a Nintendo fan than anything, more than a Sony fan, more than a Microsoft fan. Of course, Sony is not going to be at this year's E3. In place of this, I've made a video about this. In place of Sony being at E3 this year, Square Enix is going to take their spot. And I think there's going to be some pretty amazing stuff from Square Enix. So you should not disregard Square Enix. Square Enix is taking the Monday night spot when it comes to E3 2019, because they wanted to take their spot, and they have some pretty good stuff to actually go over. They're going to be going over the most hyped game, I think, that Square Enix is making in the recent years. That's definitely going to be Final Fantasy VII Remake, and I know so many people love Final Fantasy VII Remake. Final Fantasy VII Remake is absolutely going to be crazy and absolutely going to be a monster. So many people are looking forward to it, and we've been looking forward to this game for quite some time now, because they originally were starting to work on this game, but I think what happened to this game, they actually deleted this game. Like they pretty much did what Nintendo did with the Metroid Prime 4 game. They pretty much had to scrap the project and start completely from a brand new game from the ground up. I think that's why this game is taking so long to actually make. And not just that, they want to make sure fans are actually satisfied with this Final Fantasy VII remake, because this is one of the best Final Fantasy games without a doubt. So many people love Final Fantasy VII. Even people who don't personally like that as their favorite game, they can't admit Final Fantasy VII is overall one of the greatest Final Fantasy games out there. It's definitely not the bottom of the barrel, and it's definitely not low tier. It's much more high tier. Even if it's not your favorite game, you can't admit that. And so far from what we've seen from Final Fantasy VII, it's gonna look like an amazing experience. And overall, I'm actually quite hyped about Final Fantasy VII. Actually, the main core gameplay, it looks like it's not going to be turn-based anymore. It's actually going to be a real time action RPG, which is kind of interesting for a game that was never meant to be a turn-based RPG. So this is some very exciting news in that department, and I think they're going to have more at E3 to talk about when it comes to that specifically. And I'm actually very excited about that. And of course, that's not the only thing they are going to be talking about when it comes to E3 2019. They do have more to unveil. Like for instance, I talked about how in my other video I talked about how they are going to be unveiling this Marvel Avengers style type game, and apparently they've already talked about this for a long time. I don't think we ever got any real footage of this game, so it's going to be interesting to see the quality of this game, what this game actually plays like, and things like this. And I know so many people love the Marvel universe, and they love comic books, they love superheroes, and they love Marvel in general. So this is going to be some very exciting news to see this at E3. And one thing that's actually going to be super exciting to see at E3 altogether is what Xbox has to bring to the table. There's actually already confirmed that Microsoft is going to be talking about, I think, 13 new titles or 13 new IPs or something crazy like that. Correct me if I'm wrong. I just pretty much glanced over this little article talking about what Xbox or what Microsoft is going to be talking about at E3, and that's definitely some very exciting news, because the next gens of consoles are definitely on the horizon. Next year, we might even probably get the PS5 and the next Xbox, and of course, the next Nintendo Switch model is right around the corner. Whether they're going to announce it at E3 this year, or whether they're going to announce it closer to the holiday season, or they're going to announce it next year for sure, we are going to be getting another Nintendo console. You'd be crazy to think we're not getting a brand new Nintendo Switch. That's what Nintendo likes to do, and that's every gaming company, whether it's Microsoft, Nintendo. They love making these different iterations of the same hardware, whether it's a slimmer version, whether it's a more powerful version. They love making another version of the existing hardware, and Nintendo is no exception. So that's very interesting. I'm actually more interested to see what Microsoft has to bring to the table compared to what Nintendo has to bring to the table with their next Nintendo Switch, because even though I am a diehard Nintendo fan and I love the Nintendo Switch specifically as my main console, I can admit it's still going to be another Nintendo Switch, and it's not a whole brand new generation. It's just going to be a refresh. Even if it's a more powerful Nintendo Switch, it's still going to be a Nintendo Switch either way. But if Microsoft comes out and talks about the next Xbox, it is going to be the next true gen, and I'm so excited to see what they have to bring to the table. And I hope Microsoft brings the heat, because the problem with Microsoft with this generation of consoles was the fact that Microsoft did let us down, because they don't have as much stuff to play as compared to like the Xbox 360. They're definitely slipping in the exclusive department, and a lot of their exclusives are available on other platforms like the PC. And overall, was very disappointed with the Xbox One. I'm not to say that the Xbox One was trash or the Xbox One was no good. I don't want to upset people here, because of course, talking about the Xbox, I used to be a hardcore Xbox fan back in the Xbox 360 days. To be specific, I loved everything about the Xbox. I actually played Xbox more than Nintendo Wii and the PS3 combined. I love the 360. I love games like Halo, but Halo was in its heyday back in the 360 days with things like Halo 3. So many people were anticipating Halo 3, and then we also had the first Gears of War, which was definitely an experience of its own. No one can actually disagree on that. Gears of War is flat out fantastic. Even if you don't love it, you can admit it did change the gaming industry for the good. Gears of War is amazing. And we also had things like Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead came on the scene like that, and we didn't really have anything really too relatable to Left 4 Dead, and overall the quality of the games on 360 and everything just really tickled my fancy when it comes to gaming, and that's why I was such a hardcore Xbox fan back in the Xbox 360 days. But now moving here, it just really did felt like for me personally, owning an Xbox One at one point, I just did not like the types of games that were coming out, not necessarily the quality of the games, but they didn't really have any IPs to really make me excited about the brand. Sure, we got Gears of War 4. Sure, we got things like Halo 5. We also got things like Sea of Thieves, which was a questionable game, but you can see as a whole when it comes to their exclusive IPs, they are definitely slipping. In this generation, I'm definitely a Nintendo Switch fan, which will always be a Nintendo fan no matter what type of hardware they make. Whether they make a standalone console, like a normal console, like a PS4 or an Xbox, or do they do something like the Nintendo Switch, or they go back to a strictly handheld, I will always be a Nintendo fan no matter what, because so many of their IPs speak to me personally. I love games that are just more cartoony, or I just love their IPs in general, whether it's Nintendo, I mean, whether it's like Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, Fire Emblem. Overall, I just love their games and I love their quality, and everything just speaks to me. And that's why no matter what they make, I will be buying it, whether it sucks or not. And uh, I've owned every single piece of Nintendo hardware ever since the GameCube, and that's also including their handheld systems. Whether we talk about stuff like the Game Boy, the GameCube, the Wii, the Wii U, the Game Boy Advance, the DS. I've owned every single one since the GameCube, and I've owned the Game Boy. So you can see I'm definitely loving everything they do. They never disappoint. But with these other companies like Sony or like Microsoft, it's always iffy for me, and that's why I don't strictly stay a fan. I'm not a fanboy of one specific console. It just happens to be that Microsoft has been letting me down recently, and that's why I stopped really caring about Xbox. But I hope with all the new properties that Xbox has been buying and all these new game studios Xbox has been buying, I hope Xbox really gets back on its groove and really finds its footing with the next generation of systems. And I think Microsoft really does realize that they have been slipping with their IP department and with their game console and things like that. That's why I think next generation there is going to be some pretty fierce competition when it comes to the world of gaming, because Microsoft is going to be bringing the heat. But then again, Sony does have so many freaking amazing IPs to a name. Next gen is definitely going to be one for the ages. And honestly, I don't think Nintendo's going to do anything too crazy. Nintendo's going to stay with the Nintendo Switch. They're locked into that. That's their business model. We're not going to see a brand new console from Nintendo anytime soon. Of course, the Nintendo Switch is not even 3 years old yet. It's very early, and there's not even that many games for it. And of course, so many people are still buying the Nintendo Switch, and it's so new that of course they're going to be sticking with it. So we're locked with that. But next generation is going to be so crazy, talking about the PS5, talking about the Xbox, whatever, and who knows what console I'm going to be picking up next generation, because of course whenever there is a brand new gen of consoles, I always do pick up a brand new piece of hardware. I always want to see what's up. Usually sometimes I don't buy it on day one. I wait a couple years. I want to see the types of games that plays, of course, their gaming systems. But and for me personally, I don't care about features, and I'm not just a gamer to be buying a system. I want to see what it brings to the table. Once there's that one game that makes me sold, I'm definitely want to buy. One game I do know that's definitely might sell me on next gen, which I do believe is a next gen game, is Cyberpunk 2077, I think it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. That game is supposed to be a monster when it comes to open world games, and it's not supposed to be realistic and things like that. It's supposed to be set, I think, in a steampunk-esque world, and that really does appeal to me, because so many open world games today are trying to go back to like medieval times, like things with Skyrim, or things with like Breath of the Wild, or things like realistic games like Grand Theft Auto, Red Dead Redemption set in a cowboy world. So it would be cool to see an open world game that definitely flips the script, something like Cyberpunk 2077. And if that game comes out, and it comes out around release date of these consoles, I may just end up pulling the trigger on these next gen systems. I'm just so excited to see what's going on with these next generations of systems, and I'm definitely even curious to see what PlayStation has to bring to the table, because we know as of right now there's so many things stacking up that makes it look like the PS5 is going to be a beast of a system. system when it comes to the quality of the games, when it comes to the power of the games, when it comes to the loading times. Everything is getting me so hyped up for the next gen of systems. It's absolutely crazy what we could be looking at when it comes to next generation stuff. But yes, so far I'm so excited for E3. That's probably my most anticipated time of the year. There's nothing that tickles my fancy more than E3, and I am going to be covering as much E3 stuff on my channel as humanly possible and as fast as I can before I drain out. I may have to take a week off after E3 week because I'm going to be drained for the long run. It seems like my video now has been going on for close to 30 minutes, so I think I'm actually going to end the live stream. I know nobody actually ended up joining the live streams, but again, this was on such short notice. I really didn't give anyone short notice to know that this video was going to be I was going to go live. And then on top of that, I don't know how many people check my community tab, but I highly suggest if you're a subscriber of mine, keep checking my community tab. I know I don't post there all the time, but like I said, I'm trying to post more on the community tab, and I will be posting on there when I'm going to start doing live streams. I want to make this a habit, and I want to do live streams about once a week, so I hope everyone comes out to my live streams once a week. And also, again, this video was recorded on my S10, so I don't necessarily know the quality of this video, and also this is important mode and not in landscape. So if you're watching this on a TV or watching it on a monitor, it may be chopped off, but I can't really do anything about that. That's just the way YouTube wanted me to record this video. So I think I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream now. I've been talking 30 minutes straight and there's no one here, so there's really no point of me going on. But yeah, this is definitely my first live stream where I talk about tech and talk about things that I'm definitely passionate about and definitely interested in. Anyway, guys, this is Wayne from My Tech News signing out. See you guys later in my next video or live.